Okay. All right.
There we go. Okay, welcome to the Strong for Life podcast. I'm joined today by my awesome client, Linda. Linda came into the program about almost 2 to 3 months ago now, and she got some amazing results today. So I wanted her to come on, share her story, and just kind of talk about her experience in the program. So, Linda, thank you for making the time today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Great. So, why don't we maybe start with a bit about yourself, like who you are, where you're from, how old you are?
Okay. I'm 72 years old and I live in Pennsylvania. And what else did you ask me? How old I am, who I
Yeah, just
am.
where
I
you're
was a
based in the
teacher.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a teacher for 30 some years, and a kindergarten teacher. So I did a lot of running around and was very active. And then I retired about 6 years ago. And from then I started to notice a decline in my energy and my sense of purpose and like, what am I doing? Because I was so involved with teaching and that was taken away. So I got hobbies and things I was happy with. But then I started having some issues, which we can talk about.
Yeah,
So
maybe kind of rewind like the end of last year. What was going on with you that had you kind of out there looking for some outside support and attention?
yeah. Well, I started to feel as though it was inevitable to get old because now I'm retired and I'm 72 and I couldn't play with my grandchildren the way I used to play with them. I would sit more than run with them the way I used to. Um, and I just started feeling as though in decline, so to speak. And and I didn't feel like myself anymore. And that felt very uncomfortable for me. So I started doing what I could. I looked for things online to support my energy and my strength. And then I had some injuries. I injured my knees separately, and I was wearing leg braces at the time. I wouldn't want my husband to go away on fishing trips or anything because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get around. I'd be on crutches. My hip went out, and then I went on a long bike ride, and afterwards I ended up with a really bad groin pull, and again was on crutches for a couple of weeks. None of that felt right. I mean, it all felt like I was caving in. And so when I started looking online and I found you, I thought, well, let's see what this is. So I hit on some certain, you had some videos on hips and knees, and I started doing them and felt that's pretty good. And I was skeptical because you're far away and it's not hands-on or anything like that. But you reached out to me, and I just felt like I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to try this. And I'm so glad I did.
That's great. So yeah, let's talk about what sort of results you've had because I think an important thing to mention as well is like you were very active your whole life basically.
Yeah.
And really it
Right.
was only in recent years that these kind of injuries started
Yeah.
accumulating and
Right.
started kind of holding you back, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and like I said, I thought it was inevitable. This is what old age looks like. And a lot of my friends didn't want to walk as far anymore as they used to. We used to walk like 3 or 4 miles, and they were, no, my hip hurts or my knee, or it became like universal. Everybody had a problem, and um, that really made me sad. And so then I online too. I looked at there are women who are like fighting old age, but they're like big bodybuilders with like
Mm.
huge muscles, and they're doing this 24/7, and that isn't this kind of lifestyle I wanted either. So anyway, I found you and decided to see what would happen, and then we had our first interview, and I immediately felt like, yes, I do want to try this. So my big wins have been, they were little wins, actually. They were like incremental. And at first I thought, this program, the exercises you gave me, they're so easy. But I'll just do this. And I am a rule follower if I believe in the person giving me the rules. And I had a sense that you knew what you were doing. So I followed your rules, and my gosh, how they've impacted me so strongly, bit by bit. I got stronger in my core. I used to have to hold on to the railing to get upstairs. Now I just bound up the stairs. I walk, when I go walking, I have to go. It's my phone says I'm going up 16 flights of stairs just to get to a level place to walk, which is fine. But I used to trudge up that hill, and now I feel like I float up the hill. I mean, it's so
Mm.
marked. The difference is so marked to me, and I know it's everything. I mean, I'm eating better, I'm sleeping better, and it's all because the program shines a light into every part of my life. Eating, sleeping, morning routines, evening routines, tracking habits, and good habits like getting enough water and turning off your devices at a reasonable hour before you go to bed, and keep journaling, and how to establish a new habit, how to break a bad habit. I mean, all of that is in your program, and that's amazing. It's amazing. It's all in one spot, So yeah. Yeah.
Now, when you're talking there, it sounds like a lot of stuff. So I guess for people listening, has it felt overwhelming
Not
doing
at
all
all.
these
No,
things?
no. The most overwhelming thing for me was, because I'm older, is learning how to use the app. And
Yeah.
once I got that, which took a week or so, then I felt very comfortable when I learned how it all worked. No, it's so incremental. And that's what I'm saying, is that it was just baby steps and baby
Mm.
steps. And after a while, these baby steps turn into this huge foundation. So the habits are like, you get a new habit every week or two. So you're building. And now I've been in the program long enough that I'm spouting all this stuff out, but it was very manageable. And I was so grateful each time a new habit possibility showed up on the app, because and it wasn't just that, it was, you coached us like how to do this habit, and there were things that I could print out and look at and really think about and embrace. So I just decided I was going to embrace the whole program, and it's like one of the best things I've ever done, I have to say.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah, so how about that?
And I guess the position you were in before the program, the injuries were
Mhm.
accumulating. It was impacting, life, your ability to stay active, to stay independent. How have
Yeah.
these changes impacted you now over the last kind of 2 to 3 months?
Well, they were slow. At first, I used to carry a knee brace in my car, and and the crutches were, out in my bedroom just in case. And now the crutches are up in the attic, and the knee
That's
brace is in
amazing.
a drawer. I don't know those are little things, but I've been able to increase the steps that I take. At first, I would take, just go for a very short walk, and now I can walk back. I'm back to where I used to be walking like 3 4 miles. So that feels very good. And yeah, I'm able to play with my grandchildren again. I can pick them up off the floor and twirl them around, and
Wow.
that's all really great too. So I love to cook, and so I would have to like have a bench to sit on, because I get tired after, if I was in there for 45 minutes or so, I'd want to sit on something. And now I don't even notice what time it is. Same with painting. I'm a painter. And so I'll
Mhm.
stand in front of a canvas, and it'll be I used to sit on a chair for a while. Now 2 hours will go by, and it's like, oh, I'm feeling great. I could go another 2 hours. So
I
those
love,
are some impacts. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's so cool as well. I think we were talking about this before we went live, just a lot of the narrative you were saying around your friends and just the discussion is often like, well, it's just old age. This is the way things are.
Yes.
There's nothing you can
Yes.
do. Do you
Right.
want to maybe talk on that? Because I think it's a very important message to get out there for people who maybe are in a
Yeah.
bit of a slump and that they're not really sure if there's anything can change.
Yeah. Well, one thing that the program gave me was a structure. So when I retired, I was a little bit structureless. I formed my own because I do have things I like to do. But this gave me like a life structure. Like now I get up and I drink a big glass of water, and I write in my journal, and I plan my day, and it's like there's a path in front of me it's clear for me, and it's everything I want to do. And I have weekly goals, and I meet them now. Before, I would have them in my head, but I have them written down in a daily planner. So just those kinds of that kind of administration in my own life has been very, very empowering, I would say. But I think that being retired, it does feel as though that's it. Now you're just getting ready to die. Take your time, but and enjoy, go on vacations. But a lot of it is sitting, and people watch a lot of television, and never really got into that. So it was like, what am I gonna do? And here goes my body, and there are my knees, and now my hip hurts. And and then I found out that you don't have to go that direction. There's another way. And it isn't like jumping into a fitness program that's, where you're breaking your back to do all the reps. It's just tiny. It's like little by little by little. And my core is strengthened. And the program has different challenges too. Like one was a 24-hour fast, which I did do. And it was great. And it wasn't hard because I was coached. And now we're doing a squat challenge of like doing a 10-minute squat. And I can do 6 minutes of squatting.
Do you want to explain that in a bit more detail? Because people might think you're talking about repetitions.
Oh, no, just sitting squat where you just sit. I have my heels elevated a little bit, but I can do that now because of all the foundation the program has given me in my core and in my mobility. Mobility was another issue, just being able to reach things and bend over and get up. And now it's like a cinch. It's just, I feel like I was thinking about this before I talked to you today, before you called, that I feel as though I've gained 10 years.
Whoa.
And I was saying, is it 8 years? And it's like, no, it's 10 years. So that's great.
Funny.
Yeah, it's not inevitable. Old age, you're going to get old, but you can do it in different ways. And this way is so empowering and so full of life. It's so full of life. It's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like I'm laughing because people like say this so often on the podcast. Like I feel 10 years younger with
do they?
with the book. Yeah.
Oh, do they say that?
It's amazing. But what
Yeah.
I want you to imagine there's a woman listening or a man listening, and maybe they're in their 60s, they're in their 70s. Maybe they were very active, but now all of a sudden just things are starting to, break down,
Yeah.
or just not feeling themselves. They're feeling like much older than they feel that they should be. What would be some advice, like some maybe nuggets of like something that they can kind of take from just listening to this and take action on to get themselves going again?
Well, aside from joining the program, which is what I would most advise, is get on board because it's just a wonderful support. I would think it would be sleep. Really pay attention to your sleep and your steps, and walk as much as you can, move as much as you can, find opportunities to move and use them. So those few things.
Yeah, really simple. And I
Yeah.
think that's the big thing. You kind of touched on it a little bit there. Just, if you're on autopilot mode now, just technology is so addictive and so pervasive, and it kind of just steals all your time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just watching TV all day, you're sleeping late, you sleep in, and it's obviously not conducive to health. So just focusing on that, good sleep, moving more, and starting
off
small.
screens. Stay off screens as much as you can.
Yeah.
They're not your friend.
No. Linda, yeah, it was just so good to check in with you. I remember our conversation a few months back, and it's just so cool to see you just thriving. I think the big thing from talking to you was just that like freedom and this kind of new lease of life.
Yes.
And yeah, excited to do a check-in with you maybe later in the year again to see what you've been up to.
That'd be great. All right.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Amazing.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.